That's why you got to keep about 5, 6 of them things. I'll let you get one.
I do. That's the thing about it. I do.
We live, guys. We live.
How y'all doing, ladies and gentlemen? For another great show of Fathers and Finance. Hope everybody doing good tonight. We're missing our guy Trevor. He's in flight, so he'll be missing the show tonight. But
he got caught up in a storm.
For sure. I got my other two guys with me, Mr. Patrick Black Tie Graves. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Happy to be here.
Definitely. How you doing, Mr. Isaac Crumbly? Oh, no, I'm sorry, Mr. Paul. Paul, man, you got to forgive me. I'm going to get it right one of these days.
Oh, I'm good, brother. I'm good, brother.
Yes, sir. How's that Papa life going for you?
It's going good, man. You know, yes, you got your precious baby granddaughter looking absolutely just beautiful and delightful and just so innocent, man. It just gives you faith in the world again. You know what I'm saying?
For sure. Well, tonight is going to be an amazing topic we got for you guys. The barriers to insurability. Now, we're going to be discussing, I know it's 3 main things that kind of limit our people to be able to become insured. And Mr. Patrick, Mr. Isaac, y'all want to help me with those 3? We know the first topic going to be health, of course. You know what I mean? You know, our people, you know, just take health, they take health lightly, and, you know, the good health condition and the importance of us really maintaining good health throughout our years, throughout our lifetime. So, what are some other two? We got criminality.
Yeah. So, go ahead. What you said?
Criminality. Then the next point, criminality. You know what I mean? Us, having a hard time staying out of trouble, because that can definitely, you might not think it could, but you'll be surprised.
For sure, indeed,
going to impact your ability to be insured and make the extra money that you need to support your family. And the last thing is another major key, of course, is procrastination, because we love to do that. I don't know why, but at least we love to do that with important things. Let me say that. You know what I mean? Because we can, when it's stuff we want, we ain't no procrastination at all. But when it's something that's necessary and that's going to be for the betterment of your future, your family future, then we kind of, take our time with it, like we got all our whole life to, get things in place that we need to have in place. What you guys think?
Well, brother, I on this health thing, we just had a production meeting at 5. Yes, and so in that short amount of time from when we disbanded and got back on here, I found out that 2 of my classmates died of heart attacks. And so I was just like, golly, we had literally shut down the Zoom, and my Facebook page was up, and they would, I don't know about the insurance situation. They were just trying to do something for their children, like, add a little something for the college fund and things of that nature. But it's just, I was like, man, we're too young. These are my college classmates of mine. We're 51. And I'm like, man, we can't be dropping like this, man, at 51. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they both died of heart attacks, massive heart attacks. And, I'm like, dude, we gotta stop beating. So I want to start off, my mother, we used to call her the witch doctor growing up, because she was the only one in the community talking about eating right. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody was eating peanut butter and jelly on white bread. We were the only family in our neighborhood eating on wheat bread. Back in 73, 74, 75. We were just the weirdos. Everybody's like, don't go over their house. They eat healthy over there. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, but that being said, man, I certainly want to address that, because I think I've been an agent a little bit longer than most of you guys. I've been out in the field before the pandemic, obviously before you guys. Mm-hmm. And I have seen so much stuff, man, and it's just, I've forgotten a lot of stuff. But it's insane how we don't take care of ourselves. I want to start from the biblical standpoint real quick. So we always talk about all we got to do is bless it and eat it. That, God came and, he abrogated the Old Testament. Well, that's complete bull, because the Old Testament has thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal. It also has, that you shouldn't eat swine and all those types of things. And we only talk about the food part of it, of the Old Testament. If he really abrogated the Old Testament, then why can't I kill somebody when I get pissed off and it'd be completely okay? Why, if Patrick got a nice car, why can't I just take his keys one day, hop in his car and drive off with it? Because the Old Testament has been abrogated. That's not the case. So he's told us specifically, God's told us specifically how to eat. He also told us, Jesus also told us, he who changes the least letter of the law should have his name called. If you just change the letter of the law just a little bit, you have your name called least in heaven. So one of the things that's killing us for sure, and I know people don't want to hear it, is swine, which is talked about all the time. The first thing the doctor does when you have to get on high blood pressure medication is he tells you to cut back on your pork intake, primarily because it's salty. But we tell you that as Muslims, we tell you don't eat it because it's divinely prohibited. But outside of that, you've got to eat right. That is really your only wealth that you have. If you have $1 billion, but you are confined to a wheelchair all the time, can you really enjoy your $1 billion? If you have trouble climbing the stairs, what is that all about? I mean, you got to be able to be insured. So there are tons and tons of things. I don't want to dominate this conversation, but I could start talking for days about things people have told me that I'm like, are you out of your mind right now? So I'll leave it with this. I had a lady tell me that she was upset that she got denied, that she had to pay 2 seats on a plane. And I said, well, why were you upset about that, man? She says, well, they said I was too heavy. And I want you to know that I'm not fat. I'm just a little bit over 300 pounds. So I'm not really a big woman. So you have to keep a straight face. And I'm going, ma'am, you are 5'7". What do you mean you just over 300 pounds? You are a big woman, you have to pay. But in her mind, 300 pounds is not big. Do you know that 300-pound people at the turn of the century in the 1900s, when it just turned, do you know that 300-pound people used to be the freak show at the circus? You can walk outside right now and see somebody 300 pounds and not bat an eye.
5'7" though, bro. Oh my goodness. That's crazy.
5'7", 300 pounds. But her whole thing was, she wasn't really that heavy. She did not see herself as a big woman. And I'm going, what is that perception like? How do you not see yourself as a big woman? And I understand, I'm not telling anybody, I'm not saying all of this to fat shame. What I'm saying is 5'7" and 300 pounds is unhealthy. If you want to be here for your family, then you need to make sure that you can, if you want to be here for your family, you can't be 5'7" and 300 pounds.
Exactly. It's my thing is like, okay, to her thought process on it, like, lady, 300 pounds as 6'1" is, you know what I'm saying, too much. So 5'7"?
If she was 6'1" and 300 pounds, that would have been a problem.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Like 5'7", it's a bowling ball. All right, I'm done. But yeah, that's crazy.
Hey, hey, we talking about this health thing. I've seen a lot of people starting to become more health conscious in our community. What we're talking about is how when we work with our clients and we talk to different individuals within our community, because of what we were taught, brought up on, what we eat, it's not really good for us. It's good to us as far as how our taste buds react to it. but it's not good for us. And we have to really take a conscious thing. We have to take a conscious mindset as far as what we put in our body, even up to what our water, our water intake. So, because the thing about it is, if you're not insurable, then a lot of times I remember telling somebody before that they might not be insurable because of the things that we were doing. And his face like changed, like he didn't even want to talk to us about life insurance or working on his financial plan or anything after that, because it's like it's a weird feeling that they say, okay, you're not even insurable because your health issues. So it's something that we definitely got to take account.
Did Patrick just freeze on you,
Yeah,
Marcus?
yeah, he's frozen.
Okay. He froze out. Okay. Yeah. So no, he was making an excellent point there. He was certainly making an excellent point about something that you got to take advantage of. So yeah, you froze up for a second, Patrick. So what now?
Oh, okay. So I was saying that us taking our health very seriously, because we only get one body here. We only get this body that we were given, and we have to take care of it the best we can, not just to be insurable, but you want to feel good when you walk in. When you get 50 years old, 60 years old, you're not supposed to be aching in the way that we normally see people. That comes from the sodium over the years and years, and we have to start it when you're young. If you're older now, then it's not too late for you to make a change in the way that you eat. But at the same time, this is something that we're talking to our youth at the same time. Like, hey, you have to start this young, because if you don't work now, you don't go to the gym, you don't do some type of exercise while you're young, you're gonna that pain is coming. Either way, that pain is coming. I heard that from who was that said that? I think it was Arnold Schwarzenegger that said that, like, you either have to work out now or you're gonna feel that pain later in the hospitals and dealing with hospital bills and all of those things. But more importantly, who wants to live in pain?
Right.
Not me. Not
Indeed.
me, not at all.
One of the things, what's up, Brother David? One of the things that that we deal with a lot of times. So, one of the better products that we have for saving and investing and putting away for retirement, of course, is the IUL. And there are people that, that's like, they hear this Fathers and Finance. I think it was one of Tanisha's clients that, if I'm not mistaken, maybe it was one of y'all's, but I'm pretty sure it was one of Tanisha's clients that learned about the IUL and was fired up about it and was ready to go. And then we found out that they could not get it. They were not insurable. So then they had to go to they started looking at secondary type plans, which is a Roth IRA, which is what I think they ended up going with. And the Roth IRA is not a bad plan. However, it is not the IUL. So, she couldn't get what she wanted to get because it was the Roth IRA, and the Roth IRA, again, there are limitations to it, but it's still a very good plan, but it doesn't pay out as much as that. You don't even want to be in a situation where, so for instance, you were talking about feeling good. I injured my back playing sports when I was 32 years of age, but I was still athletic and playing around and what have you, and still working out and very good. And when I went to the doctor before I had my surgery, it got to a point, we tried all these other treatments. Eventually I had to have surgery. And so one day I was in the doctor's office and I was sitting with a woman next to a woman that had the exact same thing wrong that I did, the same L4, L5 vertebrae problems. She had the exact same problem. So I said, well, when are you scheduled for your surgery? I'm scheduled for a week or two at the time. And she says, I can't have surgery. And I said, well, why? She says, I'm too heavy. I have to lose weight before I can have the surgery, because when the surgery happens, I have to be able to support my weight and I'm overweight. So I thought about that. I was like, how? Because we had the same problem, and I couldn't exercise like I wanted to. I mean, I might be able to walk, but I couldn't walk for a long time. I was in a lot of pain. So I'm like, how is this woman gonna lose? She got to lose like 100 pounds. She was sitting up there. When she started talking about it, man, she started weeping. And I know what she was talking about because that shit hurt. Excuse my language. My back was hurting. So if my back was hurting, I know her back was hurting. So these are the types of things that we got to deal with. And other things we got to do, we need to go to the doctor, find out what's wrong with us. Tanisha, you know, our beautiful, beautiful producer of the show and founder of the show, you know, she always talks about her story individually. You know, Tanisha is probably 100 pounds soaking wet with a towel on. You know, she's not very big at all. But right, exactly. But she was not healthy. She's gonna stab me later, but that's all right. You know, she wasn't healthy at all, even though she was very thin. And she went to the doctor to find out she was actually trying to become a candidate so she could donate a kidney to her mother. And she found out that, according to Tanisha, that she was going to be in the same situation that her mother was in if she did not change her lifestyle habits. How did she find this out? She went to the doctor. And we're not going, now she's completely healthy now, still the same size, completely healthy. She got her insurance rating changed around from a table rating to a preferred plus rating. So she went to the doctor, she found out, and then she got it changed. Why do you feel as men, really in Black people in general, because I know some women that do this as well, but guys, with us in particular, why do you feel like we don't want to go to the doctor?
I think a lot of times, and I see it all the time, is we be self-diagnosing. Or we let it pass. What we call pass, like the pain doesn't hurt anymore, and then we like, oh, it must have fixed itself.
Right.
I personally don't like the doctor either, so I definitely try to eat my vegetables and work out and stay up and stay, you know, and I have my annual checkups that I go to. And
well, that's all we need, though, Patrick.
That's what he said. That's it.
That's all we need.
I always check out, but that's what it is. We don't want to hear no bad news. We know, you know, people. The thing about it is, people know that they ain't doing right. You know, and some people get upset when somebody else tells them you're not doing right, you're not eating right. You got to stop doing this. You got to stop doing that. You can't put that in your body. You need to drink more water. Folks want to. I met a guy at one of my jobs. He didn't eat no vegetables.
I know plenty of people like that. I know plenty of people.
In his life, he's never ate vegetables in his life. He only eats meats. He only eats meat. I say, you're a true carnivore, ain't you? because I mean, I was like, bro, how are you not? You know what I'm saying? And he's up in age now. He's around he probably like 45, but you know, how long can he keep that going? You know what I'm saying?
Not too long, bro.
I think it lasts. I think that people don't understand that even if you do stop at a certain time, your body still has to have time to recuperate from what you've already done to it. It has to have time to do it. And then if you do it, you say, all right, I'm gonna eat healthy, 2 weeks go by. That didn't do nothing for you. You've been eating like that for 16 years. You've been eating like that for 30 years. Like 2 weeks ain't doing nothing for your body. So
exactly,
it's very important. Wealth, your health is wealth, and that's not just a saying. It's real life.
Yeah,
indeed. You know, you were sitting there talking about, and I was looking at Brother Terrence's comments there about how people get set in their ways. We just don't want to hear anything, like you said, any bad news at all. Right. And we end up finding out way too late. One of my classmates, another one of my class, this is some years ago. This might be 12, 13 years ago, but he managed a Papa John's, and every day he ate Papa John's. That was it. He ate wings and he ate pizza. and he got bigger and bigger and bigger, and he wouldn't eat any vegetables. And you sit up and talk to him like, man, you need to eat something. He's like, well, I might put some tomatoes on the pizza or whatever. Well, man, he wouldn't go to the doctor. And then one day, of course, it gets to the point where he's having bloody stools. And at that point, he's like, well, man, I need to go to the doctor and find out what's going on. At this point, man, he's got colon cancer, bro, and it's a wrap. You know what I'm saying? It's a wrap. He's got colon cancer and it's gone. So we ended up losing him, and he died of colon cancer. Like from the moment that he discovered the bloody stools to the time that he passed away, we might be talking about 3 months, maybe. I mean, it wasn't long at all. But he wouldn't go. And of course, he didn't have hardly any insurance because, which we're going to get into later, that procrastination, which we're going to get into a little later. I've also had people tell me, I don't have diabetes, I've just got the sugar. Well, what the hell is that? You know what I'm saying? I just got a touch of the sugar. What is a touch of the sugar? It's diabetes. And of course, they're not taking care of themselves and doing what they got to do. Right. So I want to bring this up because I did a little research on it. Get healthy, improve your immune system, because COVID-19 is affecting insurance people. So if you already got a life insurance policy and you died of COVID-19, they're going to pay out. They have to. It was signed before the pandemic came up. Afterwards, they're talking about, so right now, they're talking about raising rates if you have had COVID-19. They're also talking about not insuring you over a period of time or having a waiting period or something like that due to COVID-19. Now, if they say if COVID-19, because of the vaccines, this is what the article says, goes the way of the flu, meaning you get the vaccine, it's like the flu, only 40,000 people die a year, which is still a hell of a lot of people that die. Those are the death rates for the flu every year, 40,000 people die of the flu. So they say if you can get that death rate down to $40,000 people a year like the flu, then they won't raise the rates. But if you can't get it under control and you had it before, then they're going to possibly raise the rates. Just yesterday, I did a policy for a woman that has, well, I shouldn't say a policy. I couldn't get her. I could get her some things, but I couldn't get her others because as of right now, she got COVID in December. Her heart, after she beat it, her heart enlarged and she ended up having to get steroids. And she couldn't walk up the steps. She could barely breathe. She had to get a pulmonologist because she was having trouble breathing and getting air into her lungs, and her heart was swelling up. And so she's taking this medication now to bring her heart down. And the medications will stop you from getting health insurance as well, or life insurance as well. And that doesn't have to just be for COVID-19. Hell, you can have something temporarily because of your bad health, get over it, and then the medicines show up on your medical records and you still can't get life insurance or get an IUL or something like that. So these are all things that we got to be concerned with. Definitely. Have y'all had anybody in y'all's cases that have had COVID-19?
No, not any positive. Not any positive.
No COVID-19 cases. All right. Well, that's good. You know, but you know, if you get, and that's another reason, that's why some smart people are going, I don't want to get diagnosed, because they recognize that some people, that the insurance companies may deny you insurance. So they'll just stay at home and try to treat themselves.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
You know, because if you had COVID-19, man, they'll try to. Now, let me ask you this. Do y'all know if the testing is reporting?
Yeah. Yeah.
So if the test, I'm saying there's a report to the MIB. I haven't really thought about that much. Y'all don't know if it's reporting the MIB?
I'm not even sure.
Okay. All right. Yeah. If the testing is reporting the MIB, that could be a problem.
Yeah.
So
and that's the beauty of you know, getting, you know, starting early, you know, getting things set in place early, because let's say you caught it while you already covered. You know what I'm saying? You're good. No worries.
Right.
Procrastination aspect, you know, people be waiting so late to do stuff.
Right.
You know?
And we got to really do our research. You research everything else in life. Go research and find out where the healthy foods are. Not even with the healthy meats, like your grocery store that's in your neighborhood, that's in the hood, they're not sending the best meats over there.
Right.
They're not sending the best quality of things. Find out where the nearest farmer's market is so you know exactly who is cultivating this food that you're putting in your body. It doesn't matter about how much you put heat on it or how good you cook the food. If the food is bad or the animal is treated bad as they're getting killed, that stuff goes into your body and manifests itself in you. So it's crazy. Even what you said earlier, Isaac, as far as um about the COVID, it's so crazy that this made up disease, this lab, this lab disease that's out here. Because if you do your research about that, you'll find out a lot of stuff about this COVID virus that is out here and how they're talking about a new variant is coming out and all of these things. We have to prepare yourself. You have to prepare yourself because this is not a natural thing that's happening. This is a thing that's raising prices. Is going to be something that we're looking at dealing with. Our generations are going to be looking like dealing with, and we have to prepare ourselves. We have to be healthy to fight off these different elements that's in our lives in the world right now. As you can see, the healthy didn't really even catch the COVID. People
Some healthy did, but not a.
Some of them did, but usually they beat it.
Right.
Yeah.
So the stats say that most of, I think it was 60% of the people that caught it had diabetes.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then a good portion of those 60% were wildly overweight. Mm-hmm. So just on that alone, diabetes is something that can get you from life insurance. It can keep you out of getting a whole lot of good policies. Mm-hmm. Just diabetes by itself. Then you throw diabetes and COVID on top of it, man, you damn near uninsurable.
Yeah,
that's a fact.
The only insurance policy you can get will be a rated policy where you got to live for 2 years. You can't get an IUL for sure. You won't be able to get an IUL. If you the only retirement plan that you could do that'd be close to that is a Roth IRA, and I mean that's it. And then obviously or a 401k. Obviously you could do a 401k, and that's the worst thing to do outside of not doing anything at all.
Right.
So if you just did nothing, the next best thing is the 401k because of the amount of money that gets taxed on it. As you know, you're not going to get when that time comes. So right now, brothers, we want to go again. For me, I could talk this whole hour about uninsurability health. Like I said, my mother raised me to always be conscious of health, and anytime I'm feeling off, I know Brother Terrence has mentioned in the comments. Brother Terrence has mentioned a couple of times about detoxing. I detox at least once a month to try to keep my system clean and keep any impurities out of it. Not so shameless plug. I'm certainly plugging my wife's juice bar for the juice cleanse that we have at Sage Juice Bar and Cafe. Please stop by 3255 Pleasant Hill Road, Duluth, Georgia. Get your juice cleanse today. Shameless plug. So anyway,
get your juice cleanse today. Get your juice cleanse today. Hey,
right.
So how we do this? We got to be proactive, people.
Right.
You know what I mean? We have to be proactive, not only for ourselves but for our kids. For the people that are younger. When you see somebody that or you have kids, teach them about this. Some of you may think that it's too late for you, but it's not too late for them, and it's definitely cheaper to get it when you're healthy and when you're younger. Get this when you're younger so that if something does develop in your life, that you know what I'm saying, you already have it in place. You already have it in place, or your kids already have it in place. So it's not something that you got diabetes now, and now you know what I'm saying, you're not able to be insurable anymore. But if you have it already when you're young, there's not too many. I wouldn't say that, but in a lot of cases, when you're young, you're pretty healthy. You're
I've
pretty.
Definitely.
I've seen a few cases of 20-year-olds with diabetes. Not a lot, not a lot. I don't want to say that I've seen a lot, but I have seen some 20-year-old cases where you're going, wait, how you 21 and got diabetes? So that's certainly out there, but it's not a lot of those cases. But definitely, if you got stuff, especially if you got stuff that runs in your family,
Yeah.
before you get diagnosed, and especially if you ain't eating right and trying to do right, get yourself protected now before that thing comes on. I mean, that's the smart thing to do. Brothers, we got to move on to the other part of which is criminality.
Definitely.
We're not going to spend too much time on this, but you can certainly stop yourself from becoming insurable due to criminality. For instance, with a DUI. With a DUI, they're not so. There are some people that will insure you, but they were going to raise the rates in some cases much more than that of a smoker. Because especially, they're like, this dude not only drinks, he gets in the car and endangers his life and other people's life. Like this dude ain't, like the way they look at that, they're going, all right, it's one thing to endanger yourself, but it's another thing to start endangering other people. That starts that kind of plays on the underwriter's mind as a mental lapse in judgment, that you're not very smart, that you make poor decisions. So that'll raise your rates up considerably higher. And so some people are like, oh man, it's all right. You have a little beer, you just drive slow, you don't drive fast. Well, whatever. Still you get caught with a DUI. It is what it is. You're not going to be able to get insured. And if you have a case pending, you can't sign up for it at all. If your case is pending, they will stop you from getting that. Also, if you are in jail, so here's the thing. If you get a life insurance policy today and you're not in jail, they're good. But if you go to jail, all bets are off. They're like, if he gets killed in jail, he gets killed in jail. I mean, that ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So even if you've got a policy right now and you go to jail, you can't get anything. I always thought that was kind of weird, especially if you paid for it ahead of time before you went to jail.
Yeah.
I always thought that was kind of crazy. I'm like, dude, I wasn't in jail.
Probably because of the environment. You know what I mean?
I understand. Yeah.
That's too dangerous. And if you're gonna be reckless enough to be in prison, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm sorry, Jack. I know you started, but we ain't covering that.
Right. Well, don't forget though, as black men, how many times have we been shot for being in the wrong place at the wrong time by the police,
right?
And being arrested for something that we didn't do. So just because we in jail don't necessarily mean we did anything wrong.
Yeah, true. That is true.
As black men, think about it. What was it? 77 people in Chicago got released a few years ago because the prosecutor lied. 77 people. Man. What the hell? Man, that is, what is that? Almost 7 dozen people that got released because the prosecutor just made stuff up. So think about those 77 people. If they had insurance and something happened to them in jail,
what happened to, but Isaac, you say that. What happened to the prosecutor that lied and took?
I was ready to say,
he went to jail. He went to jail.
Yeah.
I was about to say, man, dang.
Yeah. But what do you think though? Even like, do you think there would it would be some discrepancies with paying out? Let's say if a light bulb just came on in our community, right, for everybody, and everybody just start getting insurance, right? The cops just killing us. Now you think that, I think, me personally, if that was the case like that, I think it would be some issues with them paying out. Because it's us. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm telling you, it's never no smooth.
I don't know about that, man. Maybe so. The only thing that I would say that it would be a concern for black people doing all of a sudden is purchasing guns legally. that would literally change the NRA overnight, in my opinion, with us purchasing guns legally. But as far as us purchasing insurance, maybe it would be a problem because, as I said, with COVID-19, it's primarily affecting Black people. It's primarily affecting Black people in poor health. So maybe that would be a problem where people, where the insurance company is like, yo, COVID's out here and Black people dropping like flies. They're not taking care of themselves. Who knows? I don't really know. But either way, it's better to take that risk and buy it than to not buy it. I mean, that's you got it. That's
For sure.
Don't risk it and be like, I ain't finna do nothing. I mean,
right, exactly.
So
Tanisha just said that, posted in the chat, COVID killed more Caucasians than us.
Yeah, well, I like on this call, it's Black people on here, so I'm just trying to say, I'm just trying to save my people. And so, but literally, no, for real, diabetes. You know what? So diabetes was declared a pandemic 2 years before the COVID-19 was. Was anybody worried or scared about it? Not a single person was worried. I didn't think twice about it. I was like, I eat right. I'm not going to get diabetes. Now, I guess possibly I could because I got diabetes in my family, but I was like, man, please. I wasn't worried about that. I didn't look at it as a problem. But then COVID-19 happens and boom, it affects 60% of the people that get it have diabetes. And then almost all of the people that, I should say all of them, but close to all of them that have the diabetes are overweight. And then when you talk about overweight, when you start talking about, man, I'm sorry, guys, I think this might be one of my classmates coming on, one of my boys from FAMU, and it is my brother, Matt Bowman from FAMU. Welcome aboard, brother. We certainly appreciate you, man.
Sure.
Nothing but rattler love coming my way to my brother, Matt.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So Brother Terrence I'm sitting here looking at the comments. Brother Terrence says, diabetes wasn't a thing when it was just a US disease. Now that other people are getting it, it's a pandemic, which is true. Let's look at what going back to the original topic of what we are eating. Most people are not eating processed foods. You got a lot of GMO vegetables out there. You got all of these other things that are going on in our community. And when you start looking at it, you just go, yes, this health affects us with COVID-19 and any other thing that we've got going on out there, which affects our rates of insurability. Actually, and this, if you think about it, what happens when Black people die in our community and don't have insurance? What do we end up doing? GoFundMe, right?
GoFundMe.
Right. We use GoFundMe. We got fish fries. We standing on the corner with T-shirts begging people to donate to help us bury a loved one. And that stuff has just absolutely positively got to stop. We gotta quit with that mess, man. It can't continue. It can't continue at all. But getting back to the top, I knew I was going. This is my fault, y'all, because for sliding back to health. My passion about the health. But the other point too, when we get back into criminality, one of the other barriers of insurability, just to be in this industry that we are in, you can't have any criminality. So even if you go, all right, I don't want to, I want to get into this industry, I want to get my life right. If you've got just the smallest of, you got a class 2 felony or something, it's going to be hard for you to get on and get into this industry. Yeah. If you've got a DUI, it can be hard for you to get into this industry and start wanting to not even be a money manager for other people, to be a money manager for yourself, to have the licenses to take care of your own money. Mm-hmm. Criminality can stop you from doing that.
Yep.
So, I mean, those are some key things that we got to deal with right there. What do y'all think about, so obviously weed is becoming legal. Mm-hmm. What do you think should happen with our brothers and sisters who have been adversely affected due to being labeled as criminals for something that is now common out in society.
Me personally, I think they should be let go.
I'm not talking about the let go, and I agree with that. I mean, as far as I guess being barred from doing stuff like we're talking about today, becoming uninsured. You see what I'm saying?
Oh yeah,
What
yeah.
Should those things be dropped because this thing is no longer criminal?
Most definitely.
I think so, for sure. Because you know what I mean?
Because you gotta understand, it's something about and I don't want folks coming at my door, but you gotta understand that these drugs that was put in our neighborhoods, and I say put in our neighborhoods because where is a group of or a community that typically was not one of the richest communities that's in this country, maybe on the lower end, how are they able to get the access to even make this drug to be into the community? And when it comes to marijuana, it's like, okay, now that it's legal, those charges should be dropped. Even though, even though they broke the law when it was the law, these people who was making the law was using weed too.
Right, but no, but listen, what's this man's name? The other orange dude, the first, John Boehner. John Boehner was passing laws against marijuana and now owns a marijuana company. He was a senator in Congress, and he was passing laws against marijuana, and now he's making millions off of selling marijuana right at this moment. I mean, the level of hypocrisy is crazy. Brother Matt took himself off mute. Brother Matt, did you have a comment? I figured you might have a unique perspective on this, brother.
Yeah, no, you brought up a great topic with the criminality and going back into the past to rectify the charges that never should have been brought in the first place is one thing. But the first step is the expungement clinics. And there are expungement clinics going on all across the country for people to get their records wiped clean of low-level offenses. If you are under 25, depends on the amount of marijuana or cannabis that you're charged with. But that's not the biggest barrier, because most of our people actually qualify for being young offenders at very low levels. The problem is somebody has to pay the fines. Just because they'll clear your record, they still want you to pay the fine. And the fine might be $2,500. It might be $3,000. It may not sound like a lot of money to some people, but if you ain't got $500 and somebody says for $2,200, we can clear your record, you're going to keep that record to the day you die. And that's one of the sad realities. So in addition to the expungement clinics, we have to push for the erasement of the fines, because the fines are what stop people from moving forward with their lives.
That's a good point.
Y'all see what they produce at Florida A&M, one of the top colleges, the best college in the United States. You know, we're always going to bring a unique perspective. I appreciate my brother Matt getting on and giving us that. So literally, I had no idea about that. I knew that people were fighting for the expungement, and in many cases were getting the expungement. But like, you know, brother was just like, yo, you know, if your fines are $2,500, that's another barrier, not just to insurability. That's a barrier to opportunity, because that's going to keep you from owning a cannabis firm. That's going to keep you from profiting off of something that you may have been intimately, you know, I got plenty of friends, man, that believe in weed to the millionth degree. You know what I'm saying? They sold it. That's how they made money. They know about it. I got friends that can talk about the strength, like with me talking about coffee, talking about Guatemalan, Colombian coffee, Hawaiian Kona, all these coffees that I like. Oh, this one's got this taste. The Egyptian has this flavor and this aroma. Man, I know people that be like, bro, that weed, bro, this, you know, that loud has this effect, and this has that effect, and such and so and so. They're actually just connoisseurs of different strains of weed. Yet, if they've got this fine going on, they can't participate. it bans them from participating, not only makes them uninsurable, and not only bans them from operating in this business, our business, as Brother Matt said, it bans them from operating, just getting opportunity in general in the business that they were once involved in and how they made their living.
For sure.
So yeah, so Isaac, I also wanted to just highlight that if you are an African American or someone of African descent and you live in this country, they have been making money off of you from the time that you come to this planet to the time that you die. In every way possible, there's going to be a way that they're making money. Corporations, companies, whatever the case may be, if it's drugs, there's a way that they use you to attain or acquire money. And I heard a saying the other day, for a person to be in, or a community to be in privilege, there has to be a community that is not privileged for that to happen.
That's how this country works. You're right.
Yeah,
There's other ways to do it, but yeah, you're right in America.
Yeah, and you're right. It is ways that you can do it, but because this way right here has been so lucrative for them, and I talked to Marcus the other day, and we talked about buying black the other day, and I'm sorry about going on a tangent with this.
You're good.
And I said, I think that a lot of people want to buy black, but what stops Black people from buying black is the customer service. Our customer service
That is
it's really bad, and it makes it hard for those good companies like the Juice Bar, like ourselves, when we're talking about financial literacy to them, that they may have had a bad experience with a Black-owned business or the customer service. Maybe not even a Black-owned business, just the customer service that they get. Hey, do I get the things that I asked for? Is the person nice to me? Are they letting me know what I need or what I don't need? And are they really looking out for me?
Now, Pat, see, I call BS on that, Pat, because of this. If we've been alive hell, I'm 51. I've been to many. When I ate McDonald's, I've been to millions of McDonald's. Most times I got good customer service. Many times I didn't. That didn't stop me from not going to McDonald's.
Go to Popeyes.
I used to eat a lot of Burger King. I used to eat a lot. So it's tons, like Chick-fil-A. Almost everybody has gone to a majority, primarily Caucasian-owned establishment or chain restaurant and had bad customer service at least once.
Yeah,
that's happened. And not once as Black people did we go, I'm not going back to Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
And when I guarantee you, listen, it's tons of Black people that got horrible customer service when that crispy chicken sandwich came out at Popeyes. We used to see the service. It was posted all over Instagram and Facebook. We used to see the horrible service, but people was lined up to get a spicy crispy chicken sandwich. So they were lined up to get it. We have self-hatred. That is it. If somebody is at a Black business, I mean, man, my wife listen, if you look at my wife's ratings on Yelp and YouTube and Google and all that, she's got great ratings. But hell, even my wife can have a bad day. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You never know what can happen. So, you know, we always laugh. We look at the bad ratings that we get, and we look. There was one guy that said he hated the hip hop music we were playing. My wife plays jazz the entire time, so he was in there talking about great place. The atmosphere was horrible. They kept playing hip hop music. It was John Coltrane playing. If anybody knows who John Coltrane is, that man does not. Hip hop wasn't even invented when this man was playing. So I was like, what is, so some people gonna hate anyway, you know what I'm saying? So you right. As Black people, Patrick, we just gotta quit doing that. Man, we overscheduled. We gotta cover this last thing.
Yeah, procrastinate.
This last thing. We got to cover procrastination.
Big.
We got to cover procrastination. We're overscheduled because we end in a couple of minutes. So procrastination is the number one thing, one of the number one things that stops us. So for instance, I can't tell you how many clients when I was doing supplemental policies, they would go, all right, man, I'm just gonna wait. I know this is an accident plan, and I ain't gonna have no accidents though, or I'll wait till later. They would always say they'll wait till later, and then I would go, I tell you what, the day before you get into an accident, call me. And they would go, how I know when I'm gonna get into an accident? I'd be like, exactly. You don't ever know.
Exactly.
So I've had people call me at 1 o'clock in the morning talking about, hey, can I sign up for the policy now? No, you can't sign up for the policy now. You should have signed up for it earlier. Where are you at? I'm in the hospital. I just broke my leg. Yeah, bro, I'm sorry. I'll sign you up, but it ain't gonna cover that broken leg.
Exactly. Can't do
I'll
nothing.
sign you up right now, but it's not gonna cover that broken leg. How many people have you and all of us had, and even Tanisha, the producer of the show, how many people have we talked to about getting insurance and they passed away?
Yeah. I haven't had that happen like that personally. Thank God, but yeah, it's bad. You know what I mean? Like if that do happen to be the case, you need to. That was like her example is crazy when she was telling me. It's like you setting this man up. You do a financial strategy for him. Get him. You ready to complete. All this man got to do is pay, and he push it up.
Right. That's all that. She had written the entire application. The only thing she had to do was collect payment.
That's
and
it.
He would have been insured. And the man died in his sleep.
Crazy. That is crazy.
Absolutely crazy. And what Patrick alluded to earlier about us not wanting to know something. So when COVID hit, we got the non-medical exam policies that came out that we could all write. Right. So that goes off of your existing medical records. So if something is wrong with you now, it's going off your existing medical records. So if you don't have a diagnosis of anything, but you currently are sick, then you could have been approved. So if you were healthy last year, but you got cancer now, and you don't sign up for it, and then they remove the non-medical claim, then they're like, boom, now we're going to sit up and do a blood test. You could have been insured last year. Mm-hmm. You could have been protected last year. Procrastination, man, kills Black people in general on just about everything, but in particular on stuff that we need, stuff that we want.
Right.
Man.
No hesitations.
I have I've got my son's wife, her the other grandfather in our family, my son-in-law, my daughter-in-law's father. He's down here. He was down here for the birth of the baby, of course, and he has a business where he sells Jordans and other Nikes and other like Yeezys and all that, whatever the designer shoes are. Yeah. So that's what he does. He's a distributor and sells those. Do you know people they plan way ahead of time for that?
Yes.
When they know the new Jordans are dropping, bruh, they skillfully plan to buy a depreciating asset.
Right.
You know them shoes, man.
Thought into too.
Say what?
I said they put so much energy and thought into the process. Oh yeah, let me go ahead and set my alarm early. Let me get it there. Hey, come on, man.
Because the thing about it is the things that we want, we're gonna be doing our due diligence to make it happen. We're gonna make it happen. But the things that we not necessarily think that we need, because they don't know, they don't see the value in it because it's not in their face. Just like how you said, hit the guys in the hospital. Now he's talking about, hey, I need that policy pronto type thing. Right. Can you write it up for me?
Right.
And you can't get it now. You know what I mean? I got a client right now that I'm begging. She's one of my friend's moms. I'm begging her. I'm like, yo, you do not know. I'm still trying to figure out if you're going to be able to be insured. I'm still trying to, I want to make sure that you're sure. So I got a company that said that they're going to insure her. But tomorrow,
it could change.
It can change. It can change within our, say we go in and they say, all right, medicals are open now. The state is open. She got to get a medical because we rating her at a certain table. Now she got to get a medical. Now they're saying, oh, you're not even insurable. I've been telling you, hey, and it's going to kill me if that happens. But that's the reason why we have to have so much of a sense of urgency. Sometimes people see that as, oh, you're just trying to get paid, or we trying to push something on you. No,
I'm trying to help you.
My man Tyrone says when he's slapping those cigarettes out of these people's hands, I'm trying to save your life.
Right.
And we have to be this way because it's that important. Just because you don't think it's that important yet, your family's going to know exactly how important it is when it's there. Like when you're faced with that bridge, if we telling you, hey, the bridge is broken down over there, you need to be able to, you need to grab these things so y'all can get across the bridge. Now we don't need that right now. But you're not going to get the wood up the street.
Right.
You need the wood now.
Right.
People think you have a lot of time, but your time is not. Every day you got to thank God that you woke up.
Every day, bro. Every day.
You pass away, and there's nothing that you can be prepared for. You can't prepare for that.
Yeah.
Right.
Except by taking action right now. I don't understand the procrastination thing, and I have that same issue that everybody else did. But it's the thing about it is, hey, how many times? Because people already learned the lesson a few times. Like I said, people already know what they're doing wrong. If you hit 25, by the time you hit 25, you didn't probably went through a lot of things where you didn't mess up something, you didn't procrastinate or something, and you had to learn a lesson from it, right? Hey, those lessons ain't just for you to see and go through. You're supposed to correct those things. If somebody comes to you and brings something to you, it sounds good, it is right. You had no knowledge of it. It's not a time to say, hey, I'm gonna think and wait on it. It's a time to say, hey, I'm going to jump on this. If somebody built a store down the street and just started selling gas masks out of the blue, the government talking about, you start seeing people on there with gas masks, and you say, all right, I ain't gonna wait till they start bombing. Look, you should have been got the gas mask.
Right.
Yeah, you should have been got it. They built it over there for you to get it. They told you to go get it in the beginning. Why wait until you hear the alarm sounding off in the distance, the tornado alarm, to go, all right, let me go run to the store. Now they all go.
It's kind of like the ark, Patrick, what you're talking about, the biblical story of the ark. People laughed at Noah being prepared. And then when the flood came, there they were. And that's how it kind of is, now. You got us out here saying, hey, I know I'm 25. I'm gonna keep eating hamburgers and pizza every night.
It's gonna catch up with you. Keep on.
But and then like one day I'm gonna stop. And then just like my classmate at FAMU, he dies in his late 30s of colon cancer. We talked to him, yo, bro, when you gonna stop eating hamburgers, wings, and pizza and start eating some vegetables? No, I'm good. Right. I'm good. Next thing you know, he dies of cancer, man, and he's gone. One of the things, real quick, that I wanted to mention, just on this is a sad note, but it's still a positive note of what something of people not procrastinating. When I was a district manager over at Combined Insurance, one of my agents sold an life insurance policy to a whole family on Friday night. Saturday afternoon, the 12-year-old boy got hit by a car and died. Now, the life insurance had not been processed yet. We had simply collected the money and sent it up. So by Monday, there was a death claim already waiting. If you have something called a conditional receipt, which is what we give people, and you pay money, even before they process it, if they would have approved you anyway, they're gonna pay the money. So by Tuesday, we had a check in those people's hands. They had just purchased the policy on Friday. The child got hit and died Saturday. And on Tuesday, they had the money. So they didn't have to do a fish fry. They didn't have to do a GoFundMe. They didn't have to do any of that. All they had to do was turn that check over to the funeral of the home director, and then they worried about, giving a proper send-off to their baby boy. So again, that's very sad.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're not stressed about trying to find money to do something. You've got the money. Now all you got to do is grieve how you want to grieve. And again, those are the realities, but we don't want to, we don't want to find ourselves in, obviously, but you want to be prepared in case something like that happens.
And and correct me if I'm wrong, that person could have been getting denied, right? And then because it didn't go all the way through.
So on a conditional receipt.
No, I'm not saying about the conditional receipt. I understand you have the conditional receipt, but say that person, once it went up, the underwriter goes through and this person was denied. Like they were going to deny him, but he dies before they send that back. He still has that conditional receipt, so they still would pay out.
The conditional receipt is on condition of him being approved.
Yeah, that's the difference.
Okay.
It's on condition of him being approved.
Yeah.
So you've got that. If they die, he would have been approved anyway according to underwriting guidelines. Boom. If not, then no.
Yeah.
Okay.
So audience, please, the procrastination, you gotta pick it up. Do what you need to do to secure yourself right now. And Tanisha, if you could put our information up.
Tanisha's gone, my friend. She had, she had to handle that other meeting. So
right. So yeah.
I'll start first. My name is Isaac Crumbly. I can be reached at ICSRLIFEATL@gmail.com. My phone number is 678-643-4370. And you can reach me also. I guess I got Instagram. I check it from time to time. I'm trying to do better business-wise. It's OC, the letter N, Atlanta on Instagram. OC, the letter N, Atlanta on Instagram.
My name is Marcus Hunt. You can reach me Facebook, Marcus Hunt. My IG, Marcus M Hunt 91. If I'm not mistaken. But
come on, bro. I'm 51. I know my Instagram.
Hey, my email is wfgsolutions91@gmail.com, and my number is 404-620-7421. Contact me, Isaac, and go ahead, Patrick. Let them know your information, man.
All right. So my name is Patrick Graves. You can reach me at Patrick Graves, common spelling, just like how you see on the screen, 447@gmail.com. My number is 678-327-1556. 1551. I'm sorry, I don't know why I said 1556. That's another number. So then on top of that, you can reach me on Facebook. It is Patrick Black Tie Graves on Facebook, but you can just type in the Patrick Graves and I will pull up. You'll see my face there. You'll see the campaign. And my other information is also on there. So there's multiple ways that you can get in contact. And if you contact any of these guys, you can still get in contact with me as well. So
definitely. And before I say my last few words, I wanted to go ahead and speak on Patrick, his cell phone number. This man had that number since high school. This man had that number since high school, like 10th grade. I remember. I'm like,
Actually, since the 6th grade, when I first got my phone, I never changed my number because I'm going to be here for you.
This man, look, that's crazy. But definitely, people take action. You know what I mean? Stop the procrastination. Stop trying to be tough. Be their law-abiding citizen. It's okay to be smart. It's okay to, want to do right, want to be the best you. It's okay. You ain't got to, do all the extra. But continue.
And shout out to Trevor. I want to shout out to Trevor. Hopefully he'll be on next week. Trevor he got caught up in Philadelphia because of all the bad weather here in Atlanta. So he wasn't able to get, his flight left as we came on. So hopefully Trevor is on board with us next week. So we have all 4 horsemen here.
Definitely. Right. Eat right, get active.
That's right.
Y'all next
All
week.
right, guys. See y'all later.
For sure.
Peace and blessings.